the great point that's made is I was working at a video shop making $6 an hour. It's respectable at that time, video shop. Then I learned some more computer skills and ended up making $50 an hour. Also respectable. But he said for a student, that was a great feat. For me to be a student in school, making $50 an hour, some people would have quit school and kept that job. He said, no, I finished school. And instead of quitting school for the job, I finished school as quickly as possible. So he went and he petitioned to get 30 or 40 units a semester. And he finished in like 1.5 years and got his bachelor's just like that. So right out of school, he was working. He ended up parlaying his work into a company, software company. He ended up making 2 or 3 games. Those games hit, so he was able to start a little business. And he made some mistakes early on, but he capitalized from his mistakes after he went bankrupt. He went bankrupt and then decided his whole mind was going to change. He wasn't going to try to be corporate. He was going to try to be more personal, self-development. And that's where I enjoy the most, is that corporate is cool, don't get me wrong, but corporate is not the same as personal. When you're just focused on the person, the day-to-day, that's what I'm focused on. Because when you, before the sun sets, you see the pink, the purple sky, and you see the day, you see people going, you see kids walking, you see women. You wish you had your woman, but it's a good day. It's another good day. Many things have happened, but we made it through another day. That's a moment I enjoy. So it's the same. Is find the moment you enjoy and find a way to build a life around it. So if you enjoy that moment, what can you do to keep that moment always on the list of a priority? In other words, what can you do each day to make sure you're going to get that? And you figure it out. You figure out, well, this is what I got to do so I can get that moment each day without, going too overboard. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do that for yourself. And that's where Steve Paulina inspires me, because he took his skills and built upon them and ended up becoming a millionaire by consistently building upon skills. He didn't become another person. He simply worked on the skills that he had and improved his income based on working and mastering those new skills. And that's all you need to do, is master the skills that you have. And if they're not picking up no money, find out what skills are paying and jump into those. Now, getting certified, millions upon millions of people are certified. But consider, is certification something that's within your realm? Is certification something that's within your realm? Certification seems to be something that will pay. So look into it. It sounds boring right now, but it could be a check later. Steve Paulina, it was a check for Steve. Steve Paulina turned that, that certification and all that stuff. He learned those skills, learned how to code, turn it into a check. So you could do the same thing. I mean, you're black, and the black people could use such things. They probably already have people to do that, but wouldn't it be nice if you had those skills as well? Nothing wrong with having those skills. And you learn how to do those things and offer those services for black folks. That's a skill that you can put out to your network of people. Say, well, I have this certification. I know how to do websites for real now. I want to apologize to my cousin Eric. And then you can tell people the story. You can say, so now I'll make it up to you. If you can find a way to get in contact with Eric, let him know I'll do his website for free, and I'll update it for free for a year, including paying for all the hosting and everything. So, and then here's the link to my site. When you go to TightDad.com, the whole purpose is to get you to splash into this new frontier of digital income, of digital economy. You can have one device, and this one device could feed your whole family. Now, wouldn't that be nice? You wake up at 4 in the morning, and instead of getting dressed to go to the lot to get the truck, or to show up to the job, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. This is not an alternative or a replacement for a real job. This is a real job also, but in a different way. Let's say you have a child, your wife is pregnant, and you don't really want to go nowhere. So you just go in the other room and you get to work. Your wife needs something, you just press pause or whatever, you go in there, tend to her, kiss on her, and come back and get your work done. And then at the end of the day, it's going to take you longer. You're going to be working for 12, 16 hours. But if you do it right, the hours will go down every year. It'll go from 12 hours to 8 hours to 6 hours to 4 hours to 2 hours to an hour and a half to 35, 40 minutes. There you go. So 35, 40 minutes, you're working on managing all these passive income streams that you built up. You write an article, boom, you put that one up. You have videos that are hitting. You have articles that are hitting. You have products you're selling that are hitting. You have ads that are hitting. You have 4 things that are hitting. So you're earning 50, 60 grand a month from just these 4 things that are hitting. You all have a beautiful home, wonderful home. Your kids' education is paid for. You have a nice car to drive. Your wife has a nice car to drive. And that's it. You put the rest of the money in the bank. You help the poor every single week. You show up to your church, you do Bible study. You record it, you put it online. You show up to church on Sunday, you record it, you put it online. You go every week when you go do a show. You go do a show, you record it, you put it online. And on the way to the show, you help the poor. You help the poor, directing them to certain things, giving them certain things they need, and there you are. So you're doing your part, and God is blessing you also. And you just keep doing that again and again and again until you get so old where you can't go out no more. Then you stay at home, you're still earning this money, and you're just still allocating the income to different places. Here, my kids need, my wife needs, families need, the poor. So here's the hierarchy. Is you, your wife, your kids, and the poor. So you, and I'm speaking carnally. I'm not speaking about the Lord. The Lord is number one, period. But after the Lord is you, it's your wife, your kids, and then the poor. Always regard the poor. Never disregard the poor. Don't ever say, oh, well, you know, they're poor. You know, may God take care of it. And then you put the key in your door to your nice home, house, and close the door. And these kids don't have nothing. These people out here sleeping on the street. It's 30 degrees outside, and they're under a building, under a bridge. And you're driving a nice Lexus or whatever you're driving, and you put the key in the ignition, and you just don't care. Don't ever be like that. Don't ever be like that. Always regard the poor. When you start getting wealthy and you start having money all the time, like having a sack of money, where you can open your pocket and it's like 4 or 5 grand that you have regularly. And that's just when you go in the morning to the bank. It's like instead of going to the convenience store, you go to the bank. I'm going to the bank about 9 o'clock. I'm going to pull out about 3 or 4 grand just because I have plenty more, but I'm just pulling out 3 or 4 grand. And this ought to last me for 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days,
I'm not really going to spend no money, but if I see something I want, I get it. If I go somewhere, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat there. You know, if I see some poor people hanging outside, I see, maybe up to 5 people, I say, what you guys want to eat? You want something to eat in here? Go in there and get what you want. And I ask them to go in there. And then if the people try to kick them out, I say, well, listen, man, I'm going to pay for all these people. And if you don't want my money, I'll leave too. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do them like that because they're not all high class when they walk in here. Treat the poor right because you're 2 steps away from being poor. If something happens to this building, if the insurance money doesn't work out, if something happens to your car or whatever, you can't get to work, you're going to be just like them. So never disregard the poor. Always look out for poor people because you never know. You could be next. But if you look out for them, God will have mercy on you. So regarding the poor and 4 streams of income. And in the beginning, its active income is very brutal. Hasendo, I teach you that through laughter and through diligence, you can overcome sin. Any kind of problems in your life, clowning and being diligent, a diligent clowning, that's what's going to cause you to be successful over any matter. If you are sad at heart because your love is gone, your love is lost, you wanted this woman so bad and she just skipped on out, then Hasendo will teach you to transmute that sadness into laughter and into work, into duties. Because you're going to be sad for the rest of your life. But if you turn that sadness into some laughter, other people can be happy. And that will make you happy for trying to help them. If after all the jokes and everybody has left, you're going home, you're still going to have that sadness. But at least you know that day you helped somebody else. Maybe you don't know what they're going through. Maybe they were going through something worse. Maybe they came home and saw her in the bed with the other dude. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. So it's not even nothing to get mad. It's just be diligent. So the first step is the active income is very brutal. Hasendo in the beginning is just like any discipline and like any art, you have to learn how to have honor over everything. So the honor means that this is going to be testing of your ability, your skill, your endurance. You're not going to want to stay up all night. I struggled in the beginning, but my church held me down. I'm very thankful for them, or I'm grateful for my church, because my church, they're the ones who helped me to build up the skill. Because if it wasn't for the church, how would I have survived? Because the money I was earning, there's no way you could stay nowhere. There's no way you could be anywhere with the little pennies I was earning. The first step that I took that I saw that this was legitimate is I went to go buy a 20-piece fish dinner. It was a mere $24. And it took me almost a week. It took me 3 days to get that $25. But the reason why it took so long is because I wasn't diligent. I was putting other things ahead of setting the goal and achieving the goal. Another thing that's going to help you to achieve your goals is constantly to be laughing. Constant laughter will help you achieve almost any goal. But you have to be laughing all the time. Constant laughter. Clowning all the time is going to help you to achieve any goal. But as long as you're not laughing, there's no motivation to continue. It's very difficult to just be a dramatic ass, dog. You can't just be doing that. It's not going to work for you. Not in this age, because there's so much of technology and machines and robot and blah, blah, blah. It's very automated now, to where people, they want to automate emotions. They want to just feel happy and do nothing. And that doesn't make sense. God didn't make you like that. He didn't give you a body. But what you're saying is that your self-esteem is low, that your skills are low, that your value of life, your self-worth is low. You don't know what you're capable of. So this is why you ask to do nothing. But the old wisdom says, seek wisdom and seek to be stronger. It says, look to the ant. If you see an ant, walking, the ant is not just kicking it, the ant is on a mission. You see what I'm saying? The ant is always on a mission. The ant is forever on a mission. Each time you see an ant, they're on the way to the nest or they're on the way to some food from the nest. They're saying, okay, I'm going to go scout and find something to eat. And then once I find something, I'm going to bring the trail back so that the rest of you can come and help me get the food, gather what I find. That's the ants. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you see ants. They never stop. If one stops, there's another one right behind it. That's ants. That's an insect. Very, very important lesson. So now you're not an ant. You're many more times more powerful and possibly worth much more than an ant to the Lord. But you still have the responsibility to be diligent. That's the do part of Hasendo, is you still have the diligence involved. It's diligence that will overcome the sin. Without diligence, the sin exists still. There's an opening, you see, because sin is in the middle, Hasendo. Sin is in the middle of Ha and sin, and Ha and Do, rather. So if you don't want the sin to escape, and things like promiscuity, wastefulness, bashfulness, sin itself, disharmony, lack of trust, self-esteem, plummet. If you don't want these silly things to occur, you must keep that sandwiched in between. And let's make this clear. Sin tastes good. It tastes good. When you're watching one of those videos, or when you're making love to your wife, doesn't it feel good? It feels good. But you got to keep a handle on it. You can't be doing that all the time. And you certainly can't expect the world to reward you for sin. It doesn't work like that. It's a fantasy. It's an illusion. So doing your best is the only way. Now, the active income in the beginning is very brutal. It's very brutal. It's a 25, it's a 15, it's a 10, and it's $1.31. Those are the four that I teach you. And you must complete all four in one day, one 24-hour period. You say, how is this possible? In the beginning, it seems almost illogical. It says there's no way with these little bitty pennies that you earn that you can accomplish all four of these in one day. I say it's about managing your time. If you put your time according to what you're strongest at, you will achieve this 6 days a week. So 6 days a week, this is what you'll earn. And when you go to the bank, you'll actually get a check for hundreds of dollars instead of $25. You'll actually have a pocket full of a couple of dollars than a pocket full of no money. But it takes for you to develop the discipline of time management, of time respect. That's the lesson there. You have to respect time to be able to manage the time, the respect that you have. You have to respect time in order to be able to manage it correctly. You have to respect time. You can't say, I'll do it later, because there is no later. It's only right now. But if you don't feel confident to surge ahead and just boom, get it done, that means you're not ready for that step. If you're trying to find an easy way or find what's hitting and then work on that, you're missing the point. You must follow the steps. I'm going to teach you a very important lesson again. $50 and $6. 24 hours. Now, what's the difference between $50 and $6? The answer is $44. But the reason is $44 more is because of what? The skill. Skill is the reason why instead of going and get a Happy Meal, you're going to get a steak. It's skill. So how do you get to $50 from 6? In Hasendo, it's online. It's information. You have to invest the time in acquiring the information. That's all you need to do. I'll give you another example. I was making a little pizza. It's a lavash bread, tomato sauce, and mild cheddar cheese. All of this I was provided free, well, for a low, very low cost, gratefully by my church, right? By the church. Now, as I'm cooking this, I remember seeing a video on YouTube where someone was teaching a method of making something, some kind of taco pie or burrito pie or some kind of thing, where they put 7 burrito shells and they put fajita meat, fajita mix, and they put cheese and they baked it in the oven. They did all these things and it looked pretty good. But what I noticed on the video, when they were pouring the cheese, they used a what? A bowl. So what did I start doing? Because before, what was I doing? I was just using the grater on the counter. Now, I mean, it's not Captain Retard, but that's not the way. That causes more mess and it wastes cheese. But I wasn't thinking about what to put it in. I was also thinking maybe I ought to put this in something. And I had a plastic bowl in mind, but this plastic bowl was a little bulky. And then when I tried it, the bowl was kind of like sliding around. So I don't even remember if I did try it. But regardless, that's not the way. So I said, okay, I happen to have on hand a ceramic bowl. I took the ceramic bowl and I began to grate, and it grated perfectly. All the cheese was nice and neat in the ceramic bowl. Very little waste. Very little waste. Maybe a couple of pieces of cheese spritzed out, but that's it. 2 sprigs of cheese versus cleaning off the whole counter every single time. And what was the difference? It was the same amount of time grating. The information, the skill. My skill increased because I got the information and applied what I learned. It's just that simple. With Hasando Online, it's that simple. You don't have to go any place physically, but mentally and a little physical activity. We're not escaping physical activity because there's still work to be done. You still have to do the 4 quadrants, which is squats, punches, sit-ups, and push-ups. Every single hour you're working. Not just for 12 hours, not just for 16 hours, but for all 24 hours that you work. The first day, the point is, I make it very simple. And if you apply these lessons, if you take Hasando, I expect you to commit. I expect you to master Hasando. It will take you about 1 month. It's very brutal, and I do not recommend that you have very much else going on in your life. Treat this as if this is a college experience. Treat this like a school where you're going to be shipped off somewhere. You're going to leave your vanilla wafers at home. You're going to take a granola bar, and you're going to get on a plane. You're going to be escaping from what you previously were and becoming who you are meant to be. Now, what you're going to get out of this, if you stick with it for life, you're going to become a millionaire without question. But if you don't stick with it, you're still going to have a greater discipline than the person who doesn't do this. Your discipline will be at least 4 or 5 times greater than any other person at your job, than any other person in your class, than any other person in your church, dude. You're going to be able to do things mentally and physically and even spiritually that others have yet to aspire to, because your discipline regarding life itself is greater. You don't think about, oh, I got to do all this. You know how to break it down, because remember, from 2 pennies, you earn a pocket full of money. You went from 2 pennies to $20 to $100 to $300 to $300 and something a week. And then when you got tired of the brutality of staying up even 12 hours, you said, you know, I've got to learn more. And on those hours that you woke up that are now bonus hours, you studied and learned more. And you started to approach these other passive income streams. One of them is selling. if you're selling affiliate marketing products, quit trying to convince people to buy something that you don't know nothing about. Only the things that interest you ought you go into selling. If you don't care about Legos, don't sell nobody no Lego kit, no pack of Legos, there's 50 packs and you'll get all the pieces and there's 12 gold pieces and you don't even care about none of the pieces. Don't sell that. Sell something that you care about. Another thing my father, and I'm going to stop with this because I don't want to waste all this time. One of the things my father told me, he told me about Manscaped 2.0, ball cleaners. And he said, why don't you sell ball cleaners? He didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing for my father. Sell ball cleaners. I said, okay, I'll look into it. I looked into it, and they wanted too much information up front. They wanted my social security number, they wanted my address, they wanted my phone number, they wanted my email address. I said, that's an awful lot to be asking for a possibility to earn. So instead of going that route, I said, is there anything else I can do? I found that I can instead direct people to the site and just shorten the link and send them to an ad first. So it's not very much money as compared to just jumping into the affiliate marketing. But for someone who doesn't know yet how to really master affiliate marketing or any of that yet, doesn't really like the word marketing, eats spinach only occasionally, this is a good start. So I'm putting this up and it works. I got some clicks. So eventually you build that up. That's a passive income stream that could lead to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But the way to get those thousands of dollars is what? The content. Something called king content, because they say content is king. I've heard this. It's stuck with me all these years. Content is king. The Lord Jesus Christ is the king of our lives. But we're talking about working online, haciendo. Content is number one. Whatever you're putting up there, dress it up later. But watch this. Your wife has big breasts. She's beautiful. Her skin is cinnamon. You delight in her. Whatever she's wearing is an adornment to who she is. You've seen her. You've enjoyed her. You know how she is. But when that woman puts on clothes, it's simply an adornment to what she has. You've enjoyed her, and you need to choose wisely what you're going to wear, but it's what she's got underneath them clothes that you care most about. Amen? That's what you care about. You're not concerned about what else she's wearing and all this kind of stuff. You're caring about her clothes. So that's deep. You're caring about her clothes. So now that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is that you care about her clothes. But you care about her first. It's the same thing with the web page. Let's not even talk about website yet. Let's talk about web page. Web page is the very same. You care about what is being written, what is being said, what is being presented. That's what you care most about. I'm putting the information, you're enjoying the information, and then we go a step further, we dress it up, we make it look nice. I don't wear Air Jordans, I don't wear Vans, I wear dress shoes, I wear boots, I wear slacks, I wear white Dickie jeans if I get the baker job. I wear nice shirts, I wear flannel, I wear hoodies, I wear blazers to church. And these are the kind of pages you want. You want pages that are in a nice three-piece suit. You want some pages with a hoodie and jeans. You want some pages with a slack and flannel. You want some pages with dress shoes. You want some pages with just socks only. You want to have a different ensemble. And you can break it down. You can have the first page is the blazer. The second page is the shirt. The third page is the pants. The fourth page is the socks. The fifth page is the shoes. And you put it all together, you got a nice suit, and that's it. That's one suit in the closet. Okay? The whole closet is not the website, it's your network of websites. One suit is one site. That's how you look at it. That's how you consider working online with Haciendo. You don't see online working as a complicated endeavor because you know how to break it all the way down to just 2 pennies. And the brutality of 2 pennies and what it can become. I went from 2 pennies to a whole room full of people eating. From 2 pennies. So if I can do that once, I can do that twice. If I could do it twice, I can do it 4 times. If I could do it 4 times, I can do it 8 times. And so on. Just keep doubling each time. If you did it once, you could do it again. And the next time is going to be even faster. You can time yourself. You can see how long it takes you to earn what. You get the math and check out the results. Each day, because of the greatness of YouTube, you can check out the results and see what things cost. But before I end here, always allocate time for everything. Always allocate time. Give yourself about an hour and a half each day. I wouldn't say more than that. No more than an hour and a half. Not even 2 hours. Give yourself an hour and a half. An hour and a half is how many minutes? 60 minutes plus 30 minutes. So you have 90 minutes here. So 90 minutes, that means 9 10-minute sessions. 1 30-minute session, 2 30-minute sessions. However you break down, we have 90 minutes of free time. Whatever you want to do. 90 minutes of free time a day. In the 24-hour period with Haciendo, 90 minutes of free time. If you have to sleep, in the beginning you will sleep normally. You will work for 12, 13 hours and you'll say, I'm done. I only made $5 and, this is a bunch of bull crap and I'm not going to do this anymore. And that's it's not for everyone. But for the person who sticks in there, the second day, you'll cash out. Then the third day, you'll start again, and it won't take you 2 days. It'll take you just that day. Then the fourth day, and that's when the excitement comes in, because it's about earning a living, but it's about starting from humble beginnings and sticking with it. And really, it's to excite you. If it excites you, that's how you know it's for you. Praise the Lord.